So welcome back to Talking Neat. I am here today with special guests Nick and Blake from Joyous Wolf.
Hey,
How you guys doing?
pretty good, man.
We're good.
Long trip in?
Yeah.
No, we're used to like 15 to 30-hour drives,
Yeah,
so
so
40-minute drive up the freeway isn't too bad.
Like even LA traffic doesn't even phase me anymore. Yeah. Sitting in a car
That-
for 30 hours, you're just like, you learn to be patient. Yeah. You'll get there eventually as long as you just keep falling asleep at random parts of the day. 36 hours goes by in a flash.
My bladder's still as bad though.
Yeah.
That hasn't changed.
It's not
Yeah,
A lot of pit stops.
oh yeah.
just for me especially.
You're the
There
one.
will be
I'm
times where
always
it's
the guy
just
like
for you.
every 45 minutes. Like, I can't even stay hydrated.
45 minutes?
No, it's not that bad.
Yeah,
I mean-
that would be incredible.
Like at that point,
So
just
now
get
that
some
your body-
diapers or
yeah.
something.
A catheter.
It would have to get to that point eventually.
Hey guys, my catheter bag's full.
Yeah.
I need your help.
Just pour it out the window. and,
You have
you know.
multiple ones, just putting like, all right, just sealing them up and
You're sitting in the back of the van. The guy next to you's like, oh shit,
Pretty
hanging
much.
it out the window.
Yeah, not too far off.
we're all I made jokes that like we should just install like a pipe, like a little funnel pipe and just like in the van and just like leave to the outside. Say to people, man, that car is leaking a lot.
Yeah, we could still have a toilet. Just have a-
Isn't that what Dave Matthews Band was doing?
I don't know.
Was it?
Not that bad, but they were going over they were on a bridge in New York, and the tour bus driver decided to like release the toilet, all the sewage, into the bay, and there was a sightseeing boat directly under them, hit everyone. They were all covered in shit.
Oh my god.
It was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and the band had to. I mean, obviously, because they broke the law, they apologized up
Yeah.
and down. God, I hope I got the right band. And they invited everyone on the like sightseeing boat to the show and all that. But it's like, would you want to go to a show after you just got shit on by this band?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know what you ate.
Oh,
Oh, man.
Smell like it too. God.
So we're starting out
Okay. Well, yeah.
because you guys were late,
We were very late. Yeah.
very late.
Yeah, 2.5
I
hours.
got to get rid of this. Hopefully you guys like it. It's Sonoma County's cherrywood rye. So they take rye, throw it in cherrywood barrels, and it sounds like it should. I think they were going for like a Manhattan.
Nice.
It sounds nice.
I like Manhattans. Yeah.
It sounds.
It
Yeah.
sounds
Why are you saying
okay.
It sounds.
So
What do you mean?
try it.
Oh, I don't like that.
makes
No,
sense.
it's not. Okay, for me, I think it tastes like lacquer, like a cherrywood lacquer. Like you,
It smells like lacquer.
it smells like
definitely-
a cherrywood guitar lacquer.
Yeah,
That smell
smell
like it
the
was
paint,
just
right?
yeah. And I'm not fond of this one, and I hate
it-
shitting on whiskeys, but
It tastes a lot better than it smells, honestly.
good. We're glad you do.
I think. No, I'm just saying. Like from what I can smell, like it's like very strong smelling, but then you taste it, it's actually got a lot of flavor to it.
It is very pungent. Like
It's very in your face.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's,
And I was
uh,
thinking something sweet, but
It is a little.
Right.
It does have a little.
it has a
tiny
little
sweetness.
cherry on it.
But it's more
Yes.
like it's kind of like when you have like a sugar-free candy. You know, it's like cherry flavor.
Yeah.
But it's not cherry flavor.
Yeah.
you feel a little let
yeah.
down.
Yeah. It's like fruit stripe gum.
Yeah.
Oh man, what
You're like,
you
yeah.
had so much potential. It's fine. We
That
don't
was
talk
that
about
fruit stripe is like your childhood was ruined.
Yeah.
That's like that one thing you look back on. I mean, it looks so colorful, and it's
Oh yeah.
and
know
then you
what?
put it in your mouth, and for the first 3 seconds, you're just like in heaven, and then it's like, what the fuck happened?
Exactly. It's exactly how you look at your teenage years to now. It's like, oh wow, this is awesome, and then it's over, and you're like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah, there's got to be like the perfect metaphor for fruit stripe gum. I mean,
I'm
it's like
sure.
It's like.
childhood ruin.
It's like
Yeah, pretty
There's
much.
like three things, like getting dumped for the first time and fruit stripe gum.
Yeah.
It's equates.
But you know the people at Fruit Stripe Gum, they've seen all the memes, they've seen like all the
They
complaints.
don't care.
Yeah, how
they
come
don't
they?
give a fuck?
Because
No, I
it's
don't
it's
care.
one of those things. I mean, a business shouldn't be in business if it can't get repeat customers.
Mhm.
I'll never buy that shit again. But I mean,
You will.
But somebody will.
You will.
But
no,
yeah,
you,
who's
you say,
buying
you
it?
Say you won't.
I've never bought it more than like I bought it once. I had it once.
but- No, I was just gonna say, but there are those gum addicts, I'm sure, that
Yeah.
love that 2 seconds and will buy pallets of it. For
But you
those
have to
2
go through.
seconds,
Yeah, you have to buy it by the pallet,
Like
and you're
eating
just
a bushel of apples and taking the first bite of every apple.
throwing it away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like.
It's like there. Have you guys ever been to? I think San Luis Obispo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of my
They
favorite.
they have that
places.
one wall downtown
Yeah.
where people stick all the gum.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, like 2 feet away, they were putting fruit stripe gum in their mouth, and then they hit the
That's
wall,
how
and
they
they're
made
just
it.
like
all
That's
this.
how they
fruit
made
stripe.
the
It's all
wall.
fruit stripe.
It makes total sense.
And you could just go lick the whole wall,
Oh,
get the whole
God.
flavor
Yeah.
of the wall.
God, man.
You couldn't pay me. I don't. Like I hate shit like that. That actually truly grosses me out.
Yeah, it's like.
But it's actually a landmark. I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
look
know
up
it is.
like
Yeah,
San
like
Luis
that
Obispo,
is.
It's
stuff to do in
cool.
San Luis Obispo,
I
and
just
that
think it's
comes up.
crazy.
It's like, that's what your town's
Like,
famous
Yeah.
for.
really?
You're known for.
There's so many other cool
apples,
things to do in San Luis Obispo besides lick a gum wall.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Apples, gum wall, college parties. Done. That's it. That's
Yeah,
what you got.
you go
in San Luis
wine
Obispo.
tasting.
So moving on.
All right, we got it.
Lead the way.
Oh, we got a-
Is this one you're more welcome to?
Yeah, I love this
Okay.
one. So this is also a rye. This is Few. They're out of Chicago,
Yeah.
right?
Nice.
Evanston, a little
Okay.
south of Chicago.
Mm.
And basically, they got their name. There was the Prohibition and all that.
Yeah.
Before Prohibition was the temperance movement, which is just kind of like a public shaming of people who are drinking.
Oh.
And so it was like this, a church in Evanston, and the pastor's wife would just get a bunch of friends together, and they'd go out to the local bar and shame everyone for drinking. I mean,
Wow.
every once in a while you'll see like church groups go to the strip clubs and take pictures of every. I mean, it was the same.
God.
But she got so big, she got a meeting with President Hayes at the time.
Wow.
Jefferson Davis's wife. She got a meeting with her, and
Okay.
Jefferson Davis's wife, I think her name was Viola, joined the movement.
Wow.
And it led eventually into Prohibition. They got like enough states.
You all know how well
Jeez.
that turned
And
out.
her
Oh,
name
yeah.
was Frances Elizabeth Willard. And so they took her initials and created a whole
Oh.
whiskey out of it in honor of.
Interesting. What an interesting history.
Yeah, and so I
Wow.
love the history of this one. And it helps that it's really good.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to it.
You know, I used to be a server in a restaurant, and so I remember there was this gentleman that I worked with, and he's from Chicago, and he told me that there was a story about there was a drink named after this bartender from Chicago who would like drug people's drinks and then drag them out in the back alley, beat them up, take their money, and then they wouldn't remember what happened because.
Is that why you got into bartending?
Oh, exactly. That was my patent.
And
now.
that was the beginning.
But somebody finally found out eventually, obviously. But I can't
About you
remember-
or him?
Oh, about him.
Oh,
I haven't
okay.
been-
About him,
Yeah,
He hasn't been caught yet. This is way
Well, this
way
smells-
less intense.
Yeah, this smells really sweet.
There's like a tartness to this.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the rye kicking in.
It's really
Mm.
I like that. That's so much nicer than whatever.
Mm.
No, whoever made that bottle, I'm sorry.
No
Good try.
offense.
Good try.
And both of these companies
again.
started in 2010.
Really?
So they
Oh, so not a lot of time to age either.
not a lot of time, but I mean when you're putting your whiskey in like a cherry barrel, I don't think you need that much age on it, or else
Well, if
it's
you got that
gonna.
much flavor from it, probably not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tastes like
and
the
I mean
barrel.
it picks
Yeah.
up the color too.
It's not wine, you know.
Mhm.
You can leave wine in a barrel for year, for like a decade if you want, you know, like.
Yeah, sometimes they
yeah,
do.
yeah. So I mean,
So I guess you bring it up. You guys are in a band.
yeah.
Guess we should talk about
Sometimes.
that. Sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I guess right now you're not in the band.
We're
Taking
technically
some
We're on
time
vacation.
off.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
on time. We had our last show the other day.
Oh yeah, 2 days ago we opened up
Stone
Stone
Sour.
Sour.
Yeah, it was a great show.
That was so awesome.
Yeah.
Had a blast.
We've met them a handful of times now, so it was, you know, familiar with friends and everything. I'm gonna wait a little bit before I take a sip of this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
can you believe that? Just what I've had, those little two or three little sips right now, and I am starting to feel light, you know, and I'm like, horrible.
Yeah, so this is Virginia Distillery. They take two different types of whiskey. One's from Scotland, so like a single malt Scotch, and then they throw it in a port barrel, finish it off. And
It
so
smells
it's
really
a
good.
little, yeah.
It smells smooth, if that makes sense. I don't know.
And they just go around and
Holy shit. That's very powerful.
Oh,
That
boy.
like goes through your sinuses and everything too.
yeah, and it's
Wow.
just a regular strength whiskey. It's not like a
It tastes so different though.
It does
that's
taste
the
really
port.
That's crazy.
yeah. It's a blend. It's
good. Tastes in a pork barrel.
they finish it in port, like a port wine barrel,
Wow.
so it picks up a lot of those flavors.
That fills up like your whole mouth.
It does. Why does it feel
Wild.
like it? Does it feel like it's spreading in your mouth?
Totally.
Yeah,
like
it's super
through my
weird.
throat and my nose.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was saying, I made a joke to him earlier. I was like, so if anyone asks, like, so what are you doing today? Oh, I'm just gonna get drunk
At noon.
noon. This is probably my favorite so far. I
It's
really
just so
like it.
different. Yeah. Really good. It'd probably be great to drink too.
Well, isn't that what you did?
Right.
You did
Oh my
drink
gosh,
it.
I did drink it. That'd be great if I like.
It wasn't osmosis.
It just beamed into your
Yeah.
stomach.
Yeah, just making your perfume.
That is honestly like that's the first whiskey I've ever tasted that I want to keep drinking.
hmm
I usually whiskey is like a it's
Whiskey's
like
an
the dare
acquired,
shore,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
isn't shore.
Right.
When we drink whiskey, it's on New Year's, and we're like, it's time to. Yeah, you know, like it's like one of the only nights of the year where I'll be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll fuck. Because usually we're like in an enclosed environment. My whole thing,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
scared of getting like smashed in like a place where like I can walk around, you know, like far away or something. Or
Are you like embarrassed of what you might do? Or
No, I just
how people will perceive you?
No, I think
You're probably just worried about the shenanigans you'll inadvertently get yourself into.
yeah, I think
That's pretty much what'll happen.
I think I just I've had some experiences in my life because it's funny. I did most of my drinking when I wasn't legal, so as most people.
That's the best time,
Yeah,
too.
it's the
Yeah,
best time.
it
to do
is because
yeah.
if you're 21, you're like, woo.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
You turn 21 and you're like, I'm kind of over this.
Yeah,
That's
by the time I
exactly how
got
it
there,
felt.
you know, yeah. I had some like blackout drunk days, like nights. I mean, where like it was bad and bad things happened, you know. So there's like this that's always gonna sit there and be like, yeah, I remember that one time. It's never like, oh, that time I got really drunk never ends in happy ending, you know.
Mhm.
It's always like something horrible happened, you know. So I'm like, probably best to not get super smashed in a place where like I don't have people watching over me, you know.
Probably for the best.
So do you guys have any plans for getting back out on the road, or is
Oh,
it
yeah.
like riding?
We have a lot
Mhm.
a lot happening that we just can't talk about yet, which is really
Annoying.
annoying.
Yeah.
You guys are like the best interview.
I know.
Yeah.
We came here like,
We-
yeah,
we can't
do.
talk about it.
Can't talk about it though.
I can tell. I mean,
Right.
all what we can say is that we'll be touring a lot, more, like way even double what we probably did this year, which is insane to think
Mhm.
about. Like
Your tours, bigger tours.
yeah,
Both.
bigger, longer tours, bigger.
Don't
tours.
just say yeah.
Not year-long tours.
No, like not
Yeah.
your. I mean, it'll probably feel like it. You know,
Yeah.
it'll probably feel like it's all connected. 'Cause I think like.
Looking to get overseas, or
Yep. Yeah, we are actually looking forward to that. Can't say where or when or how or
Yeah.
any of that yet, but
Or if, but we're looking
Yeah.
into it.
yeah, we're looking into it.
overseas always means Europe. So
Yeah.
No, we want to be
We're
the
going to
first rock band
South
from America
Africa.
to play North Korea. We feel like that would go over.
Yeah.
really
okay.
well.
I'm sure Metallica is like
Right
gonna
on that
do it
list.
because
Oh,
they got Antarctica.
Yeah.
They're the first band to do all 7
Oh.
continents.
Oh,
So
Yeah, that's what I thought.
they
Yeah.
are gonna.
Played a set in Antarctica. That sounds.
I saw that. I saw the coverage for that show. Looked awful. They're like freezing in a blizzard, and this band's playing in the middle of nowhere. It's so crazy that
Was
that
it
even
worth
happened.
it? Yeah, it was worth it.
so they can get the Guinness record.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, how long was their set? See, we'll go there and play a longer set.
Just do
Yeah, and then we'll get through. But no, yeah, we're gonna do a lot of road next year.
We've actually been writing a lot
Yeah.
lately. We're going in the studio soon to do some demos.
Like next.
Oh, you guys are demoing it?
Demoing more.
Demoing
stuff.
more, like
Yeah.
they're just whenever we have free time, we're just like, yeah, go do more,
Yeah.
And working with Howard Benson is a pretty
Now,
big deal.
if I,
Pretty big deal.
yeah,
Not really Howard.
Howard, you're such a big
I mean,
deal.
Howard's been around since the '90s. I mean, he's done.
He's a
True.
good guy.
Actually,
Yeah,
I
every
think
band.
he's even older than that.
Yeah, I think
he's pretty old.
1920s. I think. Yeah. I think he did Louis Armstrong's first.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't he do one of the Beatles albums?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
When he was about
yeah,
50?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, when he was about 50.
God. Yeah, no, but he's
man.
been. I mean, he's won plenty of awards and has had great success since the '90s for sure.
He's done a lot of different stuff too.
Mhm.
I like.
But
that,
he usually. I'm trying to think of how to say this
Nicely.
without. Yeah.
Well, you don't want to be nice.
I-
to
say
us,
it.
Say it.
I look at Howard Benson, and I mean he's produced some of my favorite albums,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but they're very polished.
Absolutely.
I mean, have you
yeah,
got?
but that was the style.
And
yeah,
it was the style in the
Oh,
2000s and 90s.
and a lot
so-
of what he's told us is that a lot of these bands wanted that.
Mhm.
Like he's told us stories
Yeah.
about band. Like he worked with Motorhead.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
and,
he didn't make them polished.
He didn't make
you
it.
know.
It's still
Yeah.
it's Motorhead.
How do you
Yeah.
polish?
Yeah, how do you
Lemmy?
polish it?
But yeah, it's like when
Hey
they-
Lemmy, do you think you can harmonize a little bit?
Yeah.
Let
like-
me, we're gonna put some auto tune on your
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Like.
The Ace of Spades.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Friggin' he's done like Santana and
Yeah.
you look at the broad spectrum of the stuff he's done. He's done a little bit of everything. And did you hear Mississippi Queen or our song Slow Hand? Like we accomplished exactly what we wanted to do, and that's
And he produced those?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
is
he did.
that is as raw as that's we wanted it to sound exactly like we sound, and we didn't do any tricks or anything. What you get on there is literally probably what you're gonna hear live. So like
Totally. Yeah.
You know.
And I mean, to the point of Howard's repertoire, that's not exactly his vision. Like he's hired to do a job.
yeah.
And he does what's needed to be done.
But he knew that doing it. For example, he told me like when we did the mixes, like he made a mix where it was everything that he would want it to be, and then he did the mix that we wanted it to, like everything the way that we wanted it to be, and he played it back and forth, and he told me he's like yours is better. He says like yours just makes sense. He's like the kind of band you are. It doesn't translate.
Mhm.
When it's put that way, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So the great thing about him is he's so good enough to understand that different bands require different needs. They have different needs.
Mhm.
The first thing he does when he goes in there with us, and we started doing with the actual tracking, for like the beginning of our record and stuff, he's like, well, what do you want to do? And he asks you, and it's like, it just becomes this thing where it's like, he's much more of like of an add-on, a partner in the thing. He becomes like the fifth member of the band pretty much.
Totally. Yeah.
And again, you have a lot of other opinions too. He's got a great engineer named Mike Plonikoff, who's been on, Aerosmith, AC/DC, yeah,
Van Halen.
yeah,
Oh my God.
like
Crazy.
all over the place,
Well, there's Van Halen, and
Yeah.
then there's
yeah,
Van Halen.
Exactly. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy, dude.
He
Like, did he work on the Nuno Bettencourt years? Or
No, he
did he
actually
work on the real Van Halen?
I remember actually talking to him.
Yeah.
He told me he actually went on tour with them for like 3 years and recorded all their live albums.
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, he did AC/DC live in the '90s.
So that was back when live albums weren't like just a filler
The dude
on a
worked,
contract.
The
I
dude
mean,
worked
exactly.
on Thunderstruck, which is
Razor-
one of the greatest.
Razor's
Yeah, Razor's
Yeah.
Edge. It's one of
Yeah.
the greatest rock songs of all time.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so having him there, and also he has a great crew of guys who are all
Oh, yeah.
talented in really different ways,
Mhm.
And it's a really comfortable atmosphere, and we know all of them, and we go in there. It's just us and him and these guys, and it's it's a good creative environment for
It
sure.
really is, because we don't feel like we have to be responsible for things that we don't know.
Yeah.
That's why they're there, is because like we've trained ourselves so much to be like knowledgeable in a live setting, because that's just what we hear. We go play a show, we hear the room, we get tight as a band. Then we go to the studio and it's like you're under the microscope and you don't understand a lot of how it works. And so they're there to tell you
or translate what we're trying to.
Yeah, exactly.
Thankfully, they speak dumb musicians.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Can you make it a bit more clicky?
Like brighter?
Like
Like
words
farther
that do
away.
not make that don't make any sense. And they're like, oh, I know what you mean. You mean like this? You're like, oh yeah, there you go.
Like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And they don't bother to explain it because they know that we're not gonna.
But we're definitely not the easiest people to please either. We're definitely sitting right behind them like this the whole time, being like, oh, there's a little bit too much bass, there's a little bit too much guitar.
So you mentioned that, like, on Mississippi Queen, that was basically what you guys wanted. How
it was
to sound.
I remember when we heard the first mix of it, I was like, there we go. We've recorded stuff like on our own and stuff in the past when we were having little demos pass out at shows and whatever, and it always seemed like it just never was quite there, where we wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And when we did this first couple of songs with Howard for the record and stuff, and now we're gonna go and continue to do the rest of it and whatnot. It finally felt like we had gotten to the zone where we wanted our sound to be and what it is to be.
Like Nick says a lot. I mean, Nick said this before, but it's a really good way of putting it, because we actually worked with 2 other producers before Howard Benson, and it's very much like a Goldilocks and the Three Bears scenario. Because first got one of the times we had a mix that was like too muddy, we couldn't really understand it, but it was still a good mix. And then we had this other guy who made everything super clear, but it didn't sound cohesive, and so he's just there to kind of like bring us all together.
And it sounds like we sound like a band.
Yeah.
Which is very much what I want. I was very explicit about being like, I know the vocal's supposed to lie on top. Like that's just the way of music. But I was very adamant about being like, I can be quieter, because I want to surf on the music. I don't want to be, here's the music. And a lot of bands do that now, where it's like, what the fuck's the point of the band even being in this
it's
mix,
like you turn the music down to like volume 1 and you just hear like a podcast, like a really quiet podcast. It's like, what is that? You turn up like, oh, there's music.
Yeah, and there's music. You gotta like really crank it to get any of the instrumentation, which I feel like is such a weird.
It's very anticlimactic.
Yeah,
in some cases.
It takes away the dynamics of like what a band is supposed to be, which is a group playing together, and that's why it's good. Not the guy singing over the band. And it's like the vocal is it's just part of the painting. It's not the whole painting. Everything has to mesh in a way where everything fits together. And I feel like we got, I don't think it was perfect.
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely in the direction that we wanted to go in. And
absolutely. And we're just going to keep improving on that sound too, because like we really wanted to just be like a really fat punch of a mix, and we definitely did that. And it's just like we said, it wasn't perfect, but it's all a process.
But it was our first time doing that, and now we have that to go off of and go forward, and we have so much more that we want to do. Especially, I think sonically, there's a lot more that I want to do. Like, and I know it's the same for the others. Like, we listen to everything. And it's great at the time, but eventually which I know is why we're good musicians, is because we'll listen to it and we'll be really happy with it when it's done, and it's all said and done and it's out there. And then you hear it a couple times, and then we take a step back and be like,
things start to bug you.
Yeah, and you're starting to be like, not really the mix or that it wasn't good or it wasn't completed, but it was more about just like this could be better. The whole thing, everything about this could be better, and whatever the better is to be determined at a later point. But but I think that's what keeps us, going. It's just like, oh man, this is great, this is perfect, and then
in the moment.
Yeah, in the moment, and then eventually we can look back at it and be like, well, we can do better. You know, and I think as long as we can feel that we can do better, we'll be putting out solid material. You know,
Totally, and that's we're about to take the next step
Yeah.
as to like just constantly improving our sound recorded.
Yeah.
So
Do you guys look for a producer who's gonna kind of push you to be better too?
I think that's.
Oh, yeah,
I think we
that's a big
definitely
part of
found
it.
him.
yeah,
but-
not in the way
yeah.
we thought we would,
Yeah.
but
in a very interesting
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
but we knew we needed somebody like Howard to help us. We just needed it to be in the right way.
In his
He
own
definitely
in his
did.
own word is like, I'm an asshole. You know, he's like, I'm an asshole, but you're assholes, so we'll get along just fine. You know, like and that's just kind of he's
Very cheeky.
just as sarcastic and difficult as we are, which makes it he fits in fairly well.
Perfectly,
You know,
yeah.
in the soup. You know, he's like he was like the final ingredient to the stew, I guess. You know, because he keeps us. He's always gonna make you try something that you're not
Yep.
really down for, and because you have this is my thing, but he'll be like, just try it, and if it doesn't work, then he'll acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, you're right. But we tried it. And that's the main thing. Like, let's just try it, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but maybe it will, and that's that was like a growing process for us. I think, because like being able to.
You guys are looking at each other, rolling your eyes.
Just
Yeah.
like kind of trying to feel the room, like
growing as creators and remembering that he's there to do to create with us,
Yeah.
and so instead of creating like this friction, we
And plus, I mean, I think it'll show in the music too. But we had a lot of fun just recording. Like him and his workers just made it fun. That's the biggest part.
I think they like that we're productive.
Yeah, so this is a knock.
It's a
A
very
knock.
very nice
Wow.
scent to it. I
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
this
this
one.
is a Scottish malt.
Wow.
This is from the Highland region, so it's got a little bit of a smokiness to it.
For sure.
I really
Yeah.
like that
Yeah, nice spice.
So we're kind of moving up in.
quality.
I can.
You know what? I hate to say moving up in quality because I mean it's.
Maybe it's not.
I think this is like one of the higher end
maybe
ryes.
not quality, but maybe it's like the way that it's distilled. I feel like
Yeah.
there's more, maybe a little more time put into this one than perhaps the others, especially that first.
I mean,
one.
this is I believe it's a single malt. Yeah, it is a
It's
single
very
malt.
nice.
So it's
Yeah.
very smooth.
Yeah.
For real.
Again,
yeah.
this one and the last one are just so much easier to drink.
Mhm.
Like this is quite. I gotta ask you because you do this all the time. So your alcoholic endurance must be pretty high. You could probably drink a lot and not get too
yeah.
messed up. Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, that one was really good. It was
Yeah.
like it was very clear tasting, and it was
Mhm.
like there was definitely some spice in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
It was
kinda like
right away. The
allspice
contact
and-
with your
Yeah.
tongue is like it's a very good, like I don't even know how to describe it. It's a very, just like what you said, it's a very spicy little.
Yeah.
You can actually taste that there's something else in there besides alcohol. which is-
Exactly. Yeah. If
It's like
Yeah.
that's when stuff gets fun because it's almost like music. I mean,
Totally.
there's certain albums where you kind of like listen to them and you hear different things each
It's
time
like-
you
Oh,
listen.
every time.
And-
Sugar, John Mayer.
But you hear-
Sugar,
Yeah.
John Mayer. Like if you want to listen to some like just mellow, like that kind of stuff, I feel like that's like a smooth drink, and then you want something. Sometimes you want to just get fucked
Some
up.
party liquor.
Yeah, and then
Just want to taste the alcohol.
yeah.
Yeah, so covering a song like Mississippi Queen, I mean, that's the song that pretty much got Mountain into the Rock Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I mean, that is their song.
That is.
Sadly, it only hit like, I don't even think it broke the top
It
20.
was in the top 40.
Yeah,
Mhm.
which is for such a classic
Yeah.
song.
God, I know, it's almost a shame, but
Yeah.
it's one of those things that, of course, just gets more popular as time goes on.
Yeah,
You know?
but
That was our whole thing going into it, was because we wanted to. I mean, we chose that song because we had some history with it. You know, it was a song that we all liked that he actually was playing when we first started the band. He's playing it for me and Robert, and he's like, "Oh, you know this song?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, we know this song." And so there's a little bit of a history there, and so when we decided on it, like the main goal was just to be like, okay, we can bring more attention to Mountain. You know?
Yeah, this is not about, hey, let's see what cool things we can do to this song and make it terrible. And
See,
totally
and that's what.
destroy it.
Yeah.
Anytime I hear like a band, even
Look
if
at that.
like whether I like them or not, and I hear, oh, we're covering this, and if it's like a song that, like for me, that I have history with,
Yeah.
I just
It's
kind of like cringe a little
exactly,
bit.
because it's
And-
emotional. You know, there's
Yeah.
a very special place in everybody's heart for that specific song.
Yeah.
So a reason why somebody would want to cover it, you have to have a good reason for it.
Mhm.
Just to get publicity from that sake,
Mhm.
you know, is like obvious.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're taking some 80s pop song. You're not doing 99 Red Balloons or something. But, I mean, it's like, I mean,
Hey.
this is like,
Keep that quiet. No.
Wait till 2019.
Yeah, 2019. Yeah.
You bust out the synths.
Yeah, we're gonna bust. So again, I think we got it right. You know, because the
Mhm.
amount
Oh,
of
yeah.
positive response to it since we released it, it was exceeded any doubt that we did
Do-
the cover.
do you like kind of
correctly.
second guess yourselves when you're about to release like something like that? Because
Always.
it's
We had never.
I mean,
done
there's
anything
always-
quite
it's
like
different
it.
than
Yeah.
releasing your own song, and it's
Yeah.
different than
Oh, yeah.
releasing.
All you could hope
something
for
else.
is that you did it justice, and I think the thing is,
And that's what you can.
I was
Oh,
really
yeah.
confident. You know, I was really confident, at least in what I did. I was like, yeah, I think I nailed that as best as anyone else could.
Oh yeah, when we heard it back and we heard the master and we heard
Yeah.
how it was actually going to sound, I was so stoked because I thought it was like the greatest thing I'd ever heard. But I'll never for a second be totally confident that a group of people won't hate it just because it's a cover or something, or maybe they've noticed one little thing. But that's neither here nor there. As long as you're confident with it and you think you did a good job and you're satisfied with it, I think you can sleep at night. I think that's
Mhm.
okay.
I think for all the stuff that we did on the first sessions we did with Howard, I think it's all gonna do well. I mean, you can just count. I think you can really feel the energy in the room, especially with the drums, because Robert had a field day. You know, he got to go record his drums at Sunset Sound in the room where Led Zeppelin 2 was recorded. So he was in the exact spot. His drums set up in the exact spot on the same microphones that John Bonham played through.
Yeah,
At Sunset
he
Sound.
was.
Yeah.
That was one of the happiest days I've ever seen Rob.
Yeah.
Happiest and nervous.
Yeah.
At the same time.
He got to use the snare drum that was on Bulls on Parade by Rage Against the Machine. He got to use the same snare drum.
Just
Oh,
like
wow.
all of his
Yeah.
favorite drummers. And,
Yeah.
all this cool
And
stuff.
he got to have Dave Grohl's drum tech help him tune his drums for the session, whatever.
Mhm.
And he was just over the moon. You know, that I think that was the day in his mind, at least I can really say. Besides like playing the shows and stuff, where I think he was like, yeah, I'm a professional drummer now. You know, I think that was a real big deal to him. You know, and that's we're just gonna now we're even. Well, I think now we're just more prepared and we're a little smarter. We went through that and took a lot from it. So the next sessions we do, I think, are going to be even better. You know,
Yeah, we're only getting more hard on ourselves
Yeah.
with what we consider to be a good song, because like sometimes we'll have ideas like, hey, maybe this can work, but normally if it doesn't like grab your attention and everybody in the room isn't like on the same page and like really stoked about moving forward on
Yeah.
it, then we'll
Mhm.
pretty much just leave it for dead. But
which happens quite a bit, But then
Oh, yeah.
sometimes we'll be doing something completely different and be like, well, what if we put that thing that we left alone in there? And it's like,
Mhm.
look, it's.
Yeah, revisit stuff.
yeah, but we just always try and be harder on ourselves every time.
No hard feelings.
Always hard feelings.
Always hard feelings.
Always hard.
Does it? So
Never.
it hurts because
No,
a
no.
lot of bands say, "Oh,
It's
it doesn't
coming.
hurt," but you can see sometimes in their eyes. 'Cause
And-
it's like, yeah, for the last like 10 years, like 4 albums, I've been trying to get this one song.
Oh,
It's like the
God.
guy.
If it's a contender or if it's something you hate to see go, maybe. But if it's for the greater good, it's a sacrifice well spent.
I feel like for us, it'll always come back in some format. Like we've done I think we've written it. We wrote entire songs that had like a certain part that was good to it, and then we're like, well, what if we just put that part from this song that we don't play anymore into this new song?
Yeah.
And then it's like suddenly it it was like a weaker song
It works.
overall, but it had this one part, and then we have this song that's not complete, that needs a part. And it's like, well, what happens if we drop that in there? And it's like, it's done.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you get a little bit of that song that we left behind, and it's like, so it lives on,
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Final bottle.
Oh man.
Oban, also a single malt from Scotland.
Boy.
From Scotland.
So any special history about this one?
It was the most expensive bottle at the grocery store.
That's special to me.
That's worth it. Thanks for buying it for the show.
You're like one of those bands, and I mean, you're one of those singers that probably has to carb up before going on stage. You seem to. I've seen like a lot of bands who go from like playing at the Whiskey to playing like festival stages, and it's so weird because they just stay in this little like a box. But you guys are not like that.
No.
We're very fortunate.
And you guys like you take advantage of the entire stage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You kidding me? The first time I was on a festival stage, I didn't know what to do. I was going out of my mind. I was like,
It's like
I
a
was
junk,
like, I have
a
all this
playground.
room. And that's really where the development, like true development of like, at least for me personally, like when my stage show has evolved into now is like, now I have enough room to do backflips and stuff and not worry about kicking Greg in the face, stuff like that.
Did you really worry about that?
Oh yeah, there were a lot. There's been plenty of close calls.
It's only a basis.
About the nose incident.
Oh well, yeah. There's one time when we were on a stage at Wally's. We're actually gonna go back there. It's pretty soon. I can actually say it now because the show's already announced online. We're playing with Buck Cherry in Wally's in New Hampshire. But at the same club, we were playing with Fozzy, and they were jamming on one of our tracks, like second to last song. And I get into the music, and I'll close my eyes, and I'm just throwing my head around as you do, and I didn't realize that he was backing up, and I threw my head down, and his bass guitar, like right where the metal nut is, on his guitar, like where the strap goes, I bashed my nose like right onto it, and I broke my nose.
Oh shit!
And I was bleeding profusely, like
There's
a lot of blood.
Yeah.
All over the place.
There's some great pictures of him outside,
Yeah.
just like very dazed.
Yeah, like
and like
yeah.
yeah.
Everybody was so worried. I had to go to the little like urgent care down the road to make sure I didn't do something too crazy. And it was actually funny is I broke my nose a lot in my life because I played sports and whatever, and this is actually straighter now after that. So thanks, Greg.
Yeah, so Greg
Yes.
always says you're welcome every
Yeah,
time.
every time it comes up, yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. So yeah, I was bleeding everywhere, and we finished the show. It didn't hurt, it didn't feel like it looked, it never does, because this is a real. You ever broken your nose? You ever had a bloody nose? Like when your nose bleeds, it bleeds.
Yeah.
And when you really just hit the.
It's like 0 to
shit.
60.
Yeah, it's like it was
There's no in between.
So the guitar player Fozzy tosses me a rag from the crowd, so I have like this like give up flag pretty much, but I'm like holding my face and then doing the rest of the set, and I still did my whole show, and I go into the audience at the end of the set, and I'm bleeding all over the floor. I bled all over this microphone.
Yeah,
they gave it to me because they're like, yeah, you can have it.
We're not touching that.
It still has now it's like a dark burgundy stain on it, but I still have that mic, and I'm keeping it for the rest of my life. Yeah, that was a definite mishap. But like there have been times where Greg accidentally will bat me in the head with the headstock of his bass guitar. Like little things like that teach you how to operate in each other's space, and for the most part it's like watch out, because sometimes I'll be just kind of into it and I won't, but I try very well to stay in my little. If I'm on a smaller stage, I stay in like a little area, and
Yeah.
on big stages though, like the festival stages, like it's free for all, man.
Yeah, but that's what I was gonna say is like we did go from that kind of transition. It's not that we don't still play venues of that similar proportion, but it's a lot more widespread and more on a track now
Mhm.
these days, which is super nice. But yeah, I mean, we love taking advantage of any kind of stage and any kind of room, just because we can turn up louder, we can do more stuff, have more fun.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
I can put on a way bigger spectacle on it. That's what I love about festival shows. I can put on a real physical spectacle, you know, whether I'm hanging upside down from the trusses or